Hello gang, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about some films that I watched in movie theaters and memorable movie theater rides. Um, it's a quick video I'm shooting and I was inspired because an old friend of mine that I very recently reconnected with is actually after I filmed this video where I was feeling quite down and complaining how I feel like I don't have any friends. The same evening, that friend that I hadn't heard of in quite a long time texted me and asked me if I wanted to go out for a drink. It was on a Friday night. Of course, I said yes, and I was so happy to see him, and we reconnected, and um, it felt very good. I almost want to say cathartic, but I'm not sure it's the right use of the word here. Um, it was like a nice twist of fate, that I just happened to film the video feeling very lost, and part of the answer came to me in the following hours, so that was nice. Anyway, and now that we've reconnected, my friend Stefan, big up if you're watching the video, is as I speak now, he's driving to my place, and we are gonna go to the cinema to watch The Odyssey. We have a bit of a drive because we want to go to a specific movie theater where they play the movie in English. It's just the thing now that I speak English. I can't really watch movies that are dubbed in French. It just takes me out of the movie. Um, and yeah, if I can speak English, might as well watch the movie in the original, in its original form. So yeah, he's coming to pick me up, and we'll go watch The Odyssey. I've heard lots of good things about this film, so I'm quite hyped to watch it. Um, Maybe tomorrow or in the coming days, I will make a quick review of the movie, what I thought about it. That could be an idea. And I needed to find a topic for the video. Um, Otherwise, by the time I come back, it will be tomorrow, and I will break my streak. And I figured, you know what, I'm gonna talk about a handful of great movie experiences that I've had in movie theaters or cinemas. I don't know what's the exact word to use. Um, and one that comes to mind is when I was in high school. I was living in Strasbourg at the time, and in my final year of high school, I had school on a Saturday morning, 3 hours of math. Can you believe that? It was a pain in the ass. It really was. But oh well. And on Friday, I finished school early. Every Friday, I would finish school around 3 p.m. And usually, school ends around 6 here in France. And so every Friday afternoon, I would have a walk through the city because my dorm would only open its doors around 5. So I had some time to kill after school, basically. Um, and I wouldn't go back home until Saturday because I had math class in the morning. That's why I specified all this. Sorry, I hope I'm not getting lost in too many details here. But every Friday afternoons with an S, was the opportunity for me to wander around the city and um, have a coffee, have a beer, um, read a book, things like that. It was quite good. It was my little me time of the week. because high school was a busy time. As I remember it, I was studying, working all the time. Um, there was always something to do, so I cherished those Friday afternoons because it was the nice time for me to relax and unwind. Anywho, and so I'm walking around the city on a Friday afternoon, and I walked past a cinema that's called L'Odyssée, which means the Odyssey. I guess it's thematic. And it's a classic cinema, you know, where they play old movies and um, where the idea is to give you a very accurate movie experience. Um, just like how you would picture going to movie theaters back in the 50s, for instance, how you would picture that to be. So I walk past it, and what do I see? I see today, um, what's the word? Sorry. Today was a exceptional screening of 2001: A Space Odyssey. And at the time, I was really into my classic cinema, you know, my classic films, and especially Stanley Kubrick is I know it's very original, right? But he's one of my favorite movie makers. I love his stuff so much, and I had never watched 2001: A Space Odyssey because at the time I could be a bit snobbish like that, I guess. I thought, oh no, I don't wanna watch it on a regular TV screen. Someday they will screen it in a cinema, and that will be my chance because I had heard that it's the kind of movie you want to see on a large screen and to get the full experience. And I'm walking past the cinema, and they're playing 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is great. But the movie is quite long. I think it runs for nearly 3 hours, and that would overlap with dinner time at the dorm. And although I was 18 years old at the time, there were still rather strict rules, and you couldn't just skip dinner time. People, you know, the adults in charge would get worried, and anyway, so you had to get um, a written note from your parents if you wanted to skip dinner, which is kind of silly, but anyway, it's the way it was. And so I'm seeing this, I'm like, I can't miss it. I generally I can't miss it. What am I doing? And so I gave my mom a buzz, and I was like, Mom, this is incredible. I want to watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. Can you please call the dorm and explain to them that I won't be here tonight for dinner? And my mom, of course, very understanding, you know, like, yeah, yeah, definitely. So she called the dorm. I couldn't do it myself, you see, because they needed the approval from the parents. Um, and so everything was sorted. And I go in the cinema, and it was this huge room, um, huge movie room, and it was practically empty. I was one of the only people there. And the movie started, and it was incredible. What an experience. Probably also because there was this sort of mythos it built in my mind, you know, oh, 2001: A Space Odyssey, that's the Stanley Kubrick's movie. But oh, on top of that, the movie is incredible. It's very slow paced, and it covers so many very deep philosophical questions and um, the evolution of mankind and things like that, and our relationship with technology. Um, Brilliant film, and I think it's still relevant today with what's happened with the rise of AI, you know, and of course the antagonist of Hal in the film, which is an AI bot. That's um, the assistant of the astronauts in the spaceship, and you know, I won't spoil the movie for those of you who are watching and have never watched the film. It's a great film. By the way, I have my 2001: Space Odyssey poster right there. Pretty cool. And I watched the film, and I was completely mind blown. And that by the end of the film, I maybe you're gonna think, oh, uh, you're a bit of a drama guy, but at the end of the film, I hadn't realized before the end credits, but my face was covered in tears, and I don't know whether it was because I hadn't blinked for the entire duration of the film, maybe, or if it was I was just overwhelmed with emotions. Of course, yeah, and it was just brilliant, you know. And I remember stepping out of the cinema and being in that sort of second, how do you say in English, in a secondary state, you know, where when I was wondering what the hell just happened. This is fantastic. What a film! And being on the tram, taking me back to the dorm, and being completely silent the whole time, and just thinking back on that insane movie I had just watched. And then I finally reached the dorm and met up with my friends. Like, yo, guys, you wouldn't believe it. I just watched 2001: Space Odyssey um, in a cinema. It was incredible on the big screen and all that. I was very enthusiastic about the whole thing, and it's probably my the the highlights of my um, let me rephrase that. It was probably the greatest single memory that I have going to a movie theater that day. It was incredible. And then the following summer, I traveled back to Strasbourg to catch up with some friends, and I had some time to kill in the afternoon before meeting up with them. And I went back to the Odyssey, to the cinema, to see if there was anything playing, anything interesting. And there was the film Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe, of course, and Tony Curtis, and I feel terrible for forgetting the name of the third actor. Uh, anyway, and they were screening Some Like It Hot, and I love that film. My parents showed me that film when I was a kid, and um, I was I kind of had a crush on Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis as well, if I'm being fully honest, as a kid, because everyone looks stunning in that film. Um, Anywho, and they were playing it in the cinema, and I went in there, and it was an especially hot day, as I remember it. So it felt like it was a blessing to be in this AC room, in the cinema. And the room was fully empty this time. There was only me, just me, watching Some Like It Hot on the big screen. And it was, now I can use the word, it was a very cathartic experience, because usually when I'm in a cinema, I don't really like laughing out loud or crying, or because I feel a bit embarrassed, um, with other people being in the room. I'm just a little shy like that, I guess. But this time I was by myself, so I could just laugh out loud and have a great time, enjoying that film, because it's a comedy, right? So that was another great memory, watching Some Like It Hot. And last but not least, a few years down the line, I went to Strasbourg with my older sister, and they were playing Interstellar at the Odyssey. I had never watched this film, and my sister loves the film. She says, "Oh, Arno, you need to watch that film. It's great." And we're playing at the Odyssey, so we went to watch that film, and again, fucking incredible experience, um, mind-boggling, So yeah, 3 movies. 2 of them was sci-fi, epic, grandiose movies. One of them was more of a light-hearted comedy. But 3 movies in the same cinema, and every single time, unforgettable experience. Um, okay, so I think that was about it for today. Just anecdote time. If you haven't watched any of those movies, I strongly recommend you do. They're great films. And if you have watched the movies, let me know what you think of them in the comment section, I guess. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think my friend is arriving right now, so it's perfect timing. That's me for today. Have a good rest of the day. As always, poetry is everywhere. Peace, love, and music. Take it easy, gang. Peace.